panic sometimes to keep eye contact with a female, and I get attacked in my dreams sometimes. I wake up so guilty and disgusted with myself because I don't want to lust. The enemy working hard, but greater is he who lives in me. Read it again.
One more time, yeah.
I have gotten better on lusting since dedicating my life to Jesus. I was in sexual sin and lust before coming to Christ. And every day it gets better, but it's a strong battle, and sometimes it's so much, but I don't give up. What are some ways to overcome this? I tend to panic sometimes to keep eye contact with a woman, and I get attacked in my dreams sometimes and wake up so guilty and disgusted with myself because I don't want to lust. The enemy's working hard, but greater is he who lives in me.
Good question. We live in such a lustful system. Everywhere you turn, Lululemon. Everywhere you turn, everything is so sexualized. Everybody's wearing this, everybody's talking like that. Every show is after the pushing of the sexual agenda. Because they know the more there is lust, the more confusion there will be in the person's sexualities. If I can keep the system full of lust in the air and having men, listen, I'm telling you right now, it ain't easy navigating as a pilgrim passing through. But what I would tell every young man or every person who's struggling with as they navigate is to first be thankful that you have remorse for that sin. That's the first thing. What he said was, he was like, I feel disgusted. Great. That's a sign that you are connected. There's a sign that you are connected to a source that will give you the ability not to be so uptight that even if a woman is wearing tights, you can still look her in the eyes and be strong. Your strength doesn't increase unless you build it. Now, how do I build out of lust? You can't control the environments you work at. You can't control the environments where you work out at. You can't control the environments of wherever you go. But you can't control your environment. Not even environment, environments. I got a mental environment, I got a physical environment, and I got to make sure both of these spheres, these parts of me, is always clean. Home is where you are most of the time to some degree. Or home is where you have the opportunity to put in the most spiritual work. That when I'm at home, I'm so built up in my spiritual regiments that when I step into the world, even if everyone's wearing whatever, even if everyone's lustful, I have the right mindset towards that. When you're young and you just been delivered from lustful things, it's not easy. You're uptight, you're panicking. Oh gosh, she's looking at me. And you start panicking. But when you take the time to build yourself up and say, you know what, God? Yes, number one, I'm disgusted by this sin. But number two, I know who I'm connected to. I'll tell every man right now, it ain't gonna change. It's gonna get worse. What we must do is increase our work ethic. Our work ethic looks like this. First, before I walk out my house, I say, God, I acknowledge that without you, I'm nothing. I am weak without you. God, I have made a covenant with my eyes. I made a covenant with my woman. I made a covenant with everything that you have for me to do with this ministry. Help me navigate. And I promise you, you can look every woman in the eye and won't fall because you acknowledge before you left your house, God, but see, when you walk out that house, I got this. I'm strong now. Listen, you're never strong. The Bible says my strength is made perfect in your weakness. Weakness doesn't mean I can't lift none. Weakness says I'm incapable of doing anything right. When I'm weak, man, I don't try to fake strength. I go where I got to get my strength from. But at home is where you build that so that when you walk out in the real world, you're able to navigate because your whys are intact. Listen, it takes one look at a woman, one interest in a DM, and your whole relationship and marriage is destroyed. But if you're strong, you're able to disregard it. When you're weak, you got systems in place to make you strong. Because fellas, when you get with someone, it ain't gonna get easier. Because everybody wants what they can't have. They want you because they're gonna be like, oh, somebody likes you? Oh, you cute now. Oh, girl, you pretty now. The devil wants to destroy everything that's in God. And when you know that, you'll work extra hard. Listen, ladies, when your man come home and he got that faithful look in his eye, know that he fought a long day to be faithful. Sometimes women don't even know what it takes to be faithful. How many DMs you got to slide and delete, slide and delete, slide and delete, slide and delete. How much you got to do to make sure. And you get home, you be like, whew. You better get that man some. If you're married, get that man some. Because that man fought the good fight of faith. Chelsea was trying to come at him. Mary and Martha both tried to get at him. That man came home and you want to give him fussing? Why the other woman want to give us some loving? Boy, you get that man hell, somebody else will give him heaven. You get that woman hell, somebody's looking, waiting to give her heaven. That's why marriage is self-destruct, because it was selfish from the beginning. When you're selfless, you say, baby, how must I serve you? And if that person's submitted to God, and if that person ain't serving you, you go to the one who he and she. That's why it's important to be with someone who is submitted to God. Because when they start tripping, you go above them. That's why it's important to say, who are you submitted to? Because when you look at that man's eye and he had a long day at work, you know exactly what you must do. When your wife comes home and you know she's tired, don't think about sexing her. Clean them dishes. Mop the floor. Rub her feet. When you're selfless, you always get what you need. Nobody wants to give sex and love to someone selfish. But wash some dishes and see what she do for you. Next question. Clean the floor. Make up your bed. That woman messed up the bed about time. Anyway, go ahead. Next one.
All right.